Here are some classic tales from the animal kingdom. No. 1. Laziness. The Rabbit and the Tortoise. Once upon a time, a rabbit was taking a nap in the middle of the day when a tortoise walked by. The tortoise was on his way to a very important meeting, but he was in no hurry. He figured that since he had to be there at 2 p.m., he might as well take a little detour and get some shut-eye. The rabbit, who was also on his way to the same meeting, was furious. He started to yell at the top of his lungs. "Hey, Mr. Tortoise, what do you think you're doing? You're blocking the path." The tortoise, startled by the rabbit's outburst, apologized and slowly inched away. The rabbit, still very angry, hopped over to the tortoise's shell and said, "You know, if you'd been paying attention, you would have known that you were in my way." The tortoise replied calmly, "Being lazy is not my fault. It's just the way I'm built. If you want to be fast like me, then you should be out here running every day." The rabbit thought about this for a moment. "Actually, I have something else to do later, so I can't run with you." And with that, the rabbit took off down the road, leaving the tortoise in the dust. Number 2. Disobedience to mother. The Rabbit and the Fox. A young rabbit was playing near his home when he heard a knock at the door. He opened it to find a fox standing on his doorstep. "Hello," said the fox. "Your mother called me over because she's worried about you. She wants to know where you've been and why you haven't come home yet." The rabbit was startled. I haven't been anywhere," he lied. Just then, the rabbit's mother popped her head out the window. "That's right," she called down. "He hasn't been anywhere. Now, go away, Mr. Fox, before I call the police." The fox looked at the rabbit in disbelief. "You really shouldn't lie to your mother, you know, especially when she's worried about you." The rabbit rolled his eyes. "Yeah, just go away." With that, the rabbit closed the door in the fox's face and went back to playing his video games. Little did he know, his mother had already called the police and they were on their way. When they arrived, the rabbit was nowhere to be found. They searched high and low, but it was no use. He'd vanished into thin air. The police were baffled. They'd never seen anything like this before, but the fox wasn't surprised at all. He knew exactly what had happened to the rabbit. You see, the rabbit had lied to his mother about where he'd been, and now he was being punished for it. The moral of the story is, if you're gonna lie, at least make it believable. That's all for today. See you next time. And now, for the first story, The Rabbit and the Tortoise. Once upon a time, there was a rabbit who was very lazy. He would spend all day long just lying in the sun, doing nothing. One day, he saw a tortoise walking by and he said, "Hey, slow down there, little turtle. You're blocking my sun." The tortoise ignored him and kept walking. So the rabbit got up, stretched lazily and said, "Well, that's rude. Let's see how fast I can catch up to him." And the rabbit started running. Now, the rabbit was fast, but the tortoise was also strong and determined. And so, even though the rabbit ran as fast as he couldn't catch up to the tortoise. In the end, the rabbit had to give up and he learned a valuable lesson about the importance of hard work and determination. For the second story today, The Rabbit and the Fox. Once upon a time, there was a rabbit who lived with his mother. One day, the rabbit's mother warned him, "Please don't go into the forest, because I'm afraid of what might happen to you." But the rabbit didn't listen to his mother, and he went into the forest anyway. There, he encountered a cunning fox who tried to trick him, but the rabbit was too quick, and he easily outsmarted the fox. The fox was furious, and he chased the rabbit for a long time, but in the end, the rabbit was able to escape and he returned home safely.